That's the irony of this whole thing. I guarantee you, if I go to any one of these people's Facebook page, they got a happy Veterans Day glittery banner gif waving in the wind. I'll put money on it. And I'm not a gambler. But even I would be willing to bet that if you took all of these people's Facebook pages, put them together, at least one of them has a banner waving about veterans, happy veterans, thank you for all your service, thank you Memorial Day, veterans. I bet you they have a lot to say on Veterans Day. But look how they're acting. Look how they act in this open air prison. These people right here are about to tell what people, stupid ass. He's blind. Who are you pointing to? Where is the ADA coordinator? What is this clown show? Hello, everybody. Good morning or afternoon, whatever the time of the day it is where you are. How are you doing on this fine Monday? I'm doing quite well. As y'all might know by now, I've mentioned it a couple of times. I will be going on a little bit of a getaway. I'll be out of town for a few days. So I have pre-recorded some videos that I can release while I am out of town. I'm going to be editing those today. But before I left, I really did want to get started on the blind justice playlists from North Carolina. I won't say I have been avoiding these, but I have been not particularly looking forward to watching them. I know that it's going to make me very angry. And I also know that a lot of injustice has occurred since these incidents pictured in the videos have happened. There's actually 2 different towns or cities or whatever in North Carolina that are giving Mike a hard time. They're both in North Carolina. One of them, the one we're going to be talking about today, is called Guilford, North Carolina. We're on the page that has all of the different playlists on it. There's Rockingham County, there's Guilford County, and then there's also Asheboro, North Carolina. Seems like he's done some stuff in Aberdeen as well. And if you want to educate yourself on these different cases, Mike and Nina from Blind Justice have said that they made a Start Here playlist. You can see that is right here. The full playlist. They have 5 videos. If you want to get up to speed on that, you can go to the Start Here playlist. That's where they suggest that y'all start. For me, I'm going to start my very first video. I'm going to start on the Guilford County one. And that is because just yesterday, the blessed YouTube algorithm has suggested this video right here to me from a channel that actually I subscribe to now, but I still haven't watched any of their videos. It's called For Officer Safety. They have 4,000 subscribers. I can't fully recommend this channel because I haven't watched any of the videos, but I did download this one right here because it looks like they are blind justice fans and they went to audit or cop watch on some Guilford County police officers 13 hours ago. This was published. So like I said, I can't fully endorse or support this channel or their audits or anything like that because I literally have not watched a single one of these videos. However, I wanted to make y'all aware of the channel and let you know that it looks like I'll like the video because they seem to be supporting blind justice. They did another video, High Point, North Carolina, over here. Y'all see it's in the suggesteds here. So I will be watching those videos. It's not that I don't want to watch them. It's just I got to catch myself up to speed with what's actually going on first. And then I will absolutely get to all these videos either yesterday or today. That video was recommended to me, and so I just took it as a sign to start with the Guilford County playlist. So the very first video in this playlist is called Part 1, Disability Access Denied. I have not watched 1 second of any of these videos, and as you can see, it looks like it has already gone to hearings, days of it. Some responses have happened. So before we get into the actual reaction of the video, I wanted to share with y'all, just so y'all are aware, this is most likely going to be a very long reaction video. But before I got started, I did want to let y'all know I have been in contact with Mike and Nina from Blind Justice. We have been exchanging emails about the vet center case and about these other cases. On the North Carolina front, I haven't been particularly useful because I'm not particularly educated on the subject. As y'all know, if you've been watching my videos reacting to the blind justice situation, then you will know that before I came across the video of the vet center, I did not personally know Mike or Nina from Blind Justice. I still would say I still don't fully like personally know them, but I didn't really know anything about them. I didn't know anything about Mike. I just knew he was blind and he was a veteran. So Mike and Nina have sent me a press release of sorts. They had written it up to give people the kind of high level introduction overview to what's really going on in the case and a little bit of introduction, who is Mike and all of that. So before we get started on the reaction video, I want to read a couple excerpts from this document that they did send me. And I put the document in my publicly available Google Drive, and I will make it available to y'all in the description box down below. So here's the document. Mike Nelson is a blind veteran of the U.S. Army. He served almost 11 years and was deployed 5 times doing combat tours to both Afghanistan and Iraq. Ugh. Just in case I haven't explicitly said it, I do want to just very publicly and very sincerely thank Mike for his service, for putting his life and his body on the line for us and our freedoms. And I am sincerely grateful to Mike and all of the veterans who have served in the armed forces, particularly who have gone through combat tours in active war times. I mean, I don't really know all the specific terminologies and things, but I know what that means. To be very clear, I am very grateful for Mike and people who have put themselves in the same position as Mike. I thank y'all. If you're a veteran, thank you too. I'm very grateful for that. Anyway, this is going to be a real long video. In case y'all didn't know, this is going to be a very long video. Grab a snack, come on back, like Rich Luck said. All right, back to this media release. Nelson, that's Mike, sustained multiple traumatic brain injuries or TBIs during his military service. Those TBIs have resulted in Nelson losing his vision to the point where he has been declared legally blind. The TBIs also make Nelson extremely sensitive to light, loud noises, and a variety of smells that can trigger debilitating migraines, rendering him unable to move or speak for hours or days. He has constant head pain from the multiple TBIs, and his long-term memory active recall is practically non-existent beyond a month in the past. He receives care and training with the Department of Veterans Affairs, that's the VA, where he was recently discriminated against in Florida, from the Blind Rehab Center and from neurologists. The Blind Rehab Center issued him numerous assistive devices and technologies to help him regain his independence in his daily activities. He uses a body camera and sometimes records with his Blind Rehab Center issued iPhone for his protection due to PTSD, but also as adjuncts for his vision and his memory loss. So the phone is a medical device as far as I and the law are concerned. So it says Mike will play his video recordings back for his wife, who then describes the visual information to him. This helps him know what side of the road has a sidewalk, where the bus stop is, what the signs posted on doors say, what people communicate through their gestures and their body language, etc. A blind doctor from the UK made international news years ago for strapping a body camera on his guide dog to use in the same manner, and you can see that story at that link. In the short while I have been watching Mike and Nina's content, I have heard Mike say this next sentence several times. The best humanity could offer the blind and visually impaired for thousands of years was a stick and something to protect their eyes from being poked out, which is usually a blindfold or glasses. But in the 21st century, humanity has come a long way in the realm of assistive technology and assistive devices for the blind and visually impaired. Mike uses his assistive devices, which he calls his prosthetic eyes, to do many of those daily tasks that people take for granted. For example, the iPhone, in conjunction with his Bluetooth bone conducting headset, allows him to use navigation apps like Blind Square and Soundscape. He also uses the iPhone, body cameras, and audio recorders for taking notes of calls, meetings, classes, and general activities while he is out in public or at appointments. He uses apps on his iPhone such as Seeing AI and TapTap to help read short texts, medication and product labels, and to describe still pictures. If he needs more visual assistance, he sometimes makes a video call to a friend or a loved one, or he will use an app called Be My Eyes, which allows sighted volunteers to look through the camera of the blind user for appointments, classes, meetings, and court, where there is more information in a longer setting with more moving pieces. He utilizes the professional visual interpretation services offered by a company called AIRA, AIRA. Sadly, even though the white cane is an international symbol of blindness, most of the public in the US seems to not be aware of what the cane indicates about its user. So, the assistive technologies that Mike uses on a daily basis land well outside of most people's awareness and education. Mike enjoys educating people on the issue of assistive technology and the laws that protect them, and has been actively engaged in disability advocacy for over 5 years. In late 2019, Mike and his family moved back to North Carolina to live near extended family. He visited the local courthouses in attempts to gain access to the foreclosure records. County court staff repeatedly denied Nelson access to the courthouse because he uses assistive technology. That's the camera, right? We just read it all together. It's how he sees, right? I'm putting air quotes around sees because, he calls it his eyes. It's how he navigates through the world. It's how he is able to have gained some independence. It's utilizing the technology advancements of the 21st century to allow him to go and handle his business how he needs to handle it. County court staff in North Carolina repeatedly denied Nelson access to the courthouses because he uses assistive technology. He also visited other county buildings to discover what services were available for him and family in order to decide which county to move to. So then the press release, which y'all can go and read, goes into an accounting of a lot of the stuff that happened along the way with these North Carolina cases. It mentions one where he was rendered unresponsive and unconscious. And then the very last part of this press release goes into the encounter that Mike had and experienced at the Florida Veterans Center with September Sims, which we have covered on this channel a little bit so far. So what I'm going to be reacting to today is the very first video of him being denied access in Guilford County. But I did want to give y'all a little bit of context into what is Mike's background, where is he coming from? And Mike and Nina did give me permission to share the press release. So that is information that I've been told they're comfortable with sharing, just to give you all a little bit of context and background into who is Mike and how these people act every time he just tries to just simply use the technology that not only he needs to use to navigate through the world and to perform tasks independently, etc., but also this technology has been administered to him and given to him by the VA. It's not like he just decided one day he needed it. No, professionals have determined that he needs it and they have provided him with it. So I'm already so worked up by this. And now I'm realizing I don't know, maybe I guess I should have maybe started with the one that's really bad first, but I'm going to stick with that. But after reading fully through that whole press release, I'm like, oh man, that whole thing about the high point, that seems like, oh man, okay. Anyway, all right. So my purpose of doing these reaction videos is transparency, and hopefully that transparency and the publicity will lead to some sort of accountability, because at the end of the day, we, the people, are in charge. They don't want us to be. They don't want us to think we are. They want to act like they're the open air prison guards. But when we all come together and say something isn't going to fly, that's it. And that's why I do these type of videos. And despite the fact that I know this is going to make me very mad, Mike has gone out and put everything on the line for us to be able to even do stuff like this. And so even though it's going to make me mad, even though it's going to make me upset and all that, I feel a little bit of a personal responsibility and sort of compelled to do these types of videos, because I have this little platform and, people want to come and listen to what I have to say. And so this is what I have to say. So without further ado, we are on the Guilford County, North Carolina playlist on Blind Justice page. Part 1, disability access denied. Let's get into this video. It's about 26 minutes long.
Going in and using it.
Yeah.
You guys are denying service because of my assistive devices.
That is correct.
Part 1 of a multi-part series featuring Guilford County, North Carolina. We moved the family back to North Carolina at the end of 2019 to live near extended family. One family member informed us that the foreclosures lists are only kept in person at the county courthouses in the clerk's offices. We went house shopping, but we wanted to know about what services were available and how ADA accessible they were in the different counties under consideration. The first place Mike checked was the Guilford County Courthouse in High Point, North Carolina. Mike was trying to get access to the elusive foreclosure list. The security barred his entrance due to his use of assistive technology.
Okay. So would I be able to go in now and talk to them?
Well, they can give a permit, but it's usually for evidence. So what I would do is I would contact.
All right. So based on that intro, as y'all heard, Mike was going to access public records that are only available in person at this physical courthouse.
Contact the folks in Greensboro at the county attorney's office.
Okay.
Or the court administrator, the trial court administrator.
All right. But I have to like jump through a bunch of hoops in order to go.
No, it's not really. I wouldn't call it hoops.
Can I go in now? Can I?
No, because I can't. They can't. I can't clear you to bring that in.
Okay.
So
you're upholding the. So that's why I was talking to him. That if he knew, I was going to ask you. Like, you guys are going to uphold the county judge's order over federal law, which is the Americans with Disabilities Act, stating that I can use these under the age.
So if you've watched my reaction videos before, most of the time I'm reacting to Long Island Audit's videos. And Long Island Audit has the federal protection of the Constitution. It's the First Amendment right to the freedom of the press. Mike, to be clear, also has the First Amendment right to freedom of the press. But Mike has an additional federal protection under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Whenever you have a state law that conflicts with a federal law, the federal law has to supersede. As we've discussed before, when you have a federal law that conflicts with the Constitution has to supersede. So it's kind of like a pyramid of the strongest laws, right? Constitution's at the very top. Then you have federal laws, then you have state laws, then you have city ordinances and stuff like that. In there somewhere is governor's orders, but you cannot override a federal protection with a judge's order. You just can't. Now, do they do it? Yeah, hell yeah. And I'm sure we're about to watch them do it right here. But just so we're clear, that is what Mike is saying to him. You're telling me that a judge's order is going to override the Americans with Disabilities Act? That isn't how it works, and it cannot be how it works.
DA has effective communication devices.
Okay, no, I'm not upholding one over the other.
Yes, you are.
That's
but you're not going to let me go in with them. So you would be upholding the judge, right?
Yeah. Okay, if that's the way you want to play it, yes.
Well, I mean,
and it's nobody's playing. He needs access to records. He needs access to his assistive devices, and you need to get out of the way.
If I wanted to go and get services and talk to the clerk and get some records or talk to somebody, you wouldn't let me in with my assistive devices right now.
Right now.
So I have to jump through hoops.
But hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to work with you.
Let's do it. Let's work it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and make a call so you don't have to go try and jump through a bunch of hoops.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan.
So just hold on.
All right. You guys are telling me I can't use my devices, you know? That's like taking my cane away.
Like, what if somebody said, all right, officer, like, all right, dude, in order for you to access this building, you have to put on a blindfold and like try and figure out where everything is and all that. Like, it's not only just the way he navigates the world. He has, like he said, he uses it to help him with his memory. And it's like, come on, these people are already out of control. And I know it's about to get so much worse.
Yeah. Well, some judges telling me, and you're following his order, like, so that's kind of sketchy.
So we have an order that the clerk of Superior Court would have to sign off on in order for you to bring your items into the courthouse.
Wow.
To conduct business.
Okay, so I have to get special permission to have access to public offices that other members of the public normally.
I am already so mad, but I know it's going to get so much worse.
We do.
Equipment.
No, it's just with the equipment.
The equipment.
That's all.
Right.
And it's not because of an ADA thing. It's just because it's an electronic device.
It is because of an ADA thing. Just because some bumpkin says it's not doesn't mean it's not.
That's all it is. And it has nothing to do with whoever has it. It's just.
Well, I mean, this seems.
That's the point, dumb. It's supposed to have a lot to do with whoever has it. Y'all are not taking into consideration the fact that the ADA protects this man's devices.
It seems very discriminatory at this point.
It is.
Does that make sense? From my perspective, can you see it from that?
I see what you're saying.
All right,
Yeah.
And it seems like really ironically, in the courthouse, legal gray area here. That if you guys are preventing me access to public areas because I'm using devices that are covered under the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Those devices that you're using for your disability.
Yeah.
It just has to be the same thing that's not allowed in the courthouse. And it has.
So as an analogy, some people have service animals that are also considered to be assistive devices for medical conditions under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Now, this is not the same thing as an emotional support animal. That is a different thing. Service animals are assistive devices under the Americans with Disabilities Act, and they are specially trained to perform a certain function. Legally speaking, service animals are considered to be more like medical devices than pets. That's why whenever you go to a private business, a restaurant, a coffee shop, a bar, whatever, you might see something on the door that says no pets allowed. But then there's a little fine print that says service animals are always welcome. And that is because restaurants, food establishments, private businesses in the past have discriminated against people and said, we're not telling you can't bring your service dog in here because you're blind or because you are disabled or because you need the service animal to function. We don't let anybody bring their dogs in here. It's a no pets allowed situation in here. Well, they have lost those cases to the extent that it is very well established precedent at a federal level. Service animals are not pets under a no pets allowed policy. And that includes, it's not legal advice, but that includes apartments with no pets allowed policies. And the reason is obvious. If you have any damn common sense, you need the animal as a medical device. And so in this situation, sure, maybe I couldn't go in there video filming and recording everybody in the courthouse, which just as my personal opinion, I think I should be able to do under the First Amendment, freedom of the press. That's a different argument. We're talking about medical assistive devices at this point. And so this cop is basically using that. Well, we don't let any pets in here. It's not a pet, toll. It's a medical assistive device. And in this case, it's not a pet. The assistive device is the prosthetic eyes in the version of the iPhone. And they're saying, well, it's not because you're blind that we're not letting you come in here. It's because nobody is allowed to have a phone. But this ignorant, incompetent fool has absolutely no idea how the law works, what it is, how it's supposed to do any of that. And we just have these three tyrants in the open air prison telling him he's not allowed to access this building.
It has nothing to do with keeping you particularly from doing it. It's just the recording device.
You guys are just stopping me particularly from going in and using it for those particular.
Yes.
I'm using it on under what's protected under the ADA, right?
Yes, and I get what you're saying, and I'm not disputing.
No, you don't.
Okay.
You don't get what he's saying, and you are disputing it. Just so we're clear.
Mike uncovered ADA violations at the county courthouse in Greensboro.
Okay, so this gentleman is requesting to use this the cell phone in his left hand. I'm assuming the strap too there. On
Yeah, and I've got a audio recorder I use too.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So
And what does these devices do?
They help. Well, the phone helps me navigate. Like my cane helps me navigate. I'm trying to get a dog, trying to get a guide dog, but these were issued by the prosthetics department at the VA.
Okay.
So they're intended to help people with low vision or no vision navigate and communicate.
In the courthouse today.
I need a copy of the judge's order that's saying I can't go in, because in that order, if it's the same order which I got in High Point, there is a medical.
Okay, so we're in a different courthouse now. This is the Greensboro courthouse, but it is still in Guilford County.
Exemption, and these are medical devices that I use to effectively communicate under the Americans with Disabilities Act.
I got you. Quick question.
What my question is, what is your business in the courthouse today?
Trying to go to the clerk's office to do a records request.
Okay, well, what we can do, we can lock your electronics up, And we'll be glad to escort you down. That way you have.
Lock his electronics up? What on God's green Mother Earth? Why don't we lock you up? I know Mike don't like people in cages. I was just kidding.
Have no complications in navigating.
Okay. Are you trained in guiding blind people?
Yes, sir, we are.
You are?
Yes, sir. We're more than willing to walk you through security.
Where did you?
I'm very surprised to hear that he's trained on guiding blind people. Let's see what his credentials are.
You received training for guiding blind people.
Here's where we're at, my friend. I appreciate your concerns. I appreciate what you're asking.
No, you don't.
But at this current time, electronic, cell phone, any recording devices are not allowed.
We got another guard at the prison camps, y'all. Just following orders. I appreciate you can't damn see, but too bad, so sad. Gotta lock your shit up.
Okay.
If you need assistance into the building, we will assist you in any way we can, physically walking through.
Right.
Look, listen. I've never been blind. I really have no idea. Really can't speak to it. But I can promise you that if I was unable to navigate my way around and this guy was telling me that he was going to be the one who would guide me around and no, hell no. Ain't no way I would entrust where I'm getting and my navigating to this man. Why? They have given me no indication they're trustworthy to get me where I need to go. I don't know where they're about to take. No, hell no. Let me use my damn devices to get where I need to go. This could have already been finished and over with.
Help you navigate.
What about
you down to the
okay? What about
any information
yeah?
that you need?
What about note taking?
Note taking, we'd be glad to help you with that.
Okay, I don't trust you to take notes for me.
Period.
Okay. Well,
So that's why I have devices
I agree. I completely agree. I don't trust him to take notes for me either. Nope.
to take notes for me.
that's not going to work today.
Okay. Again, can I speak to the ADA coordinator?
You can
There's supposed to be one under section 504 of the ADA.
lock your electronic devices up, and
So no, he was denied what is federally required.
you can go up to the judge.
Yeah. Have you tried to reach those two numbers I provided?
Not right now.
No reasonable accommodation.
I was told by a supervisor that we
Just following orders at the camp.
aren't going to give them a call. So,
You're in a bad spot, man. I know you don't want to do this. I can hear it in your voice. I know you're trying to help.
I can understand
Here's
on
the
some
court order
level.
right here.
Okay. So you should be able to find. There's a medical exemption listed there.
Lindsay R. Davis is the judge.
Okay.
Lindsay R. Let me look her up. Or him. Lindsay R. Davis. Let me Wayback Machine this LinkedIn page. Oh my God, this man. He looks like he owns a plantation. He retired. When did he retire? Wait a second. This is in 2019. When was this? January 2nd, 2020. But his LinkedIn page said he retired in 2018. So they were citing an order from a retired judge, a judge that had retired 2 years prior? Can't be. Oh my God. Just looking at this man, sometimes just looking at people makes my stomach drop. No, this one says present. Okay, so according to his LinkedIn, he retired. According to Ballotpedia, Lindsay R. Davis Jr. is retired. He's the one, even though he retired 2 years ago at the time of the recording of the video we're watching, they are still signing an order from a retired judge. What the hell are they doing that for?
That wrote that out.
Uh-huh. All I'm asking is that you guys honor this order. If that's what you guys are saying is the ultimate law of the land in here, honor this order because there is a medical exemption listed.
So now help me.
Yeah.
Help me with this. Is your chest rig considered something medical?
I use it because it's a backup camera. Like for instance, when you asked for the numbers for the 88th,
Right.
I turned off my camera function on my phone, but this was still recording, right? So
So the answer is yes to this dude asking. Yes, it is. All the cameras that are recording are necessary medical assistive devices. Yes.
if something happened during that time I was trying to find her name and number, like if for some reason you wanted to smack me, hopefully not, but crazy stuff happens, this would cover that. This would cover my behavior and your behavior, right? Because it's audio and video. So it's just a backup in case one of them I need to use.
And this is all the ADA. What we have been discussing on this channel previously has been First Amendment, freedom of the press protections. They record us. We can't record them. They got their cameras rolling. We can't have ours. That's a totally separate issue. It's still there. We're just going to sandwich it on top. But this is a different issue. This is the Americans with Disabilities Act. And what they are doing is discriminating against someone who needs this stuff to navigate around.
This for another thing?
Where'd your friend go?
He, I think he went to go get a smoke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a nicotine addiction.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you see in there?
I don't see anything where it says.
If it's the same order as the one that they had in High Point, it's listed under medical. But again, you have an ADA coordinator. You actually have two. You have a primary and a backup, and they are the people that you need to refer this to and have them come talk to me.
People with disabilities are constantly having to litigate our way through life. This is obviously not exactly the same thing, but all through law school, I had to deal with the same thing. I had medical accommodations for certain things in class, and it was electronic devices that would help me the most. And I had to jump through so many hoops, and it's like, this is a law school. Y'all should know. Y'all should be teaching people the ADA. They had to be educated on it. Same thing here. This is a courthouse. If anybody in the whole damn country knows ADA, it should be them. No.
Or talk to you or both of us so that we get this cleared up. Because this is a serious issue. This is a federal level stuff. This is federal law.
It is.
So
Yeah.
you get me. I'm just gonna call you Jim because I can't get your last name.
Sure.
And I'm sure I can look you up on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
So you gave me those telephone numbers. Have you tried to call them directly?
No, I was going to try to do an in-purpose person here. Yeah. So today's video is actually also a follow-up from High Point's denial, right? Yeah. So we've already filed an ADA claim at the federal level.
Good.
For the refusal of service. Okay. But we're also trying to handle it at
I'm ready to go to North Carolina for a protest already.
the lowest level. You know, I try to talk with the guys that are preventing access and get them to see reason and get them to even look up law in the U.S. Constitution, and it doesn't.
Visually impaired individuals ever came in here. You're not the first one that's ever needed to conduct business.
Yeah.
And thousands before you have been able to conduct business.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean anything. All y'all have to do is discriminate one time against one person. And listen here, Mr. Sir, I don't like how your tone is escalating. You're not the first person who's ever been visually impaired and trying to come in here. You're not the first trying to conduct business. Everybody else can conduct their business. Yeah, well, if your definition of conduct business is taking all of their assistive devices and, quote, locking them up, and then you, who's not trained to really guide anybody, who's not trained to be a transcriber or a note taker, goes and half-ass does whatever you're trying to do just because somebody who's in there is scared, or because somebody is in there doesn't know their rights, somebody in there doesn't want to exercise their rights for whatever reason it may be, that does not mean that they have been able to effectively conduct their business. It just means they haven't complained to you yet. Just so we're clear.
These gentlemen right here are going to ask you to leave. If you refuse to leave.
Oh my God, y'all. This fucking moron turned around just now, gestured behind him with his hand, and said, these gentlemen right here are finna ask you to leave. You're talking to a blind person, you stupid ass. What are you gesturing to? These people right here. Imagine it, y'all. You can't see. And some bumpkin standing in front of you who's not doing what he's supposed to do under the law says, these people right here, and gestures to someone. This is the world we live in. This is where we live.
You can be charged with second-degree trespass.
Okay.
So you have an option.
So are you threatening violence upon me? Is that what you're doing?
The law.
No.
That's what I'm telling
No, you are not. No, that's not what you're doing, sir. You're not telling nobody the law. You're telling people your ego, and y'all are about to be a criminal gang is what you're doing.
That's not the law, because I'm not doing anything criminal.
Period.
So are you threatening violence upon me? Is that what's going on? Because I want
My heart is racing.
clarification.
Make a clear visible statement you want to do. Sir, have you already been explained the policy with electronic? You can't.
And you know these bumpkins are the first ones to line up for a Veterans Day parade. That's the irony of this whole thing. I guarantee you, if I go to any one of these people's Facebook page, they got a happy Veterans Day glittery banner gif waving in the wind. I'll put money on it. And I'm not a gambler. But even I would be willing to bet that if you took all of these people's Facebook pages, put them together, at least one of them has a banner waving about veterans, happy veterans, thank you for all your service, thank you Memorial Day, veterans. I bet you they have a lot to say on Veterans Day. But look how they're acting. Look how they act in this open air prison. These people right here are about to tell what people, stupid ass. He's blind. Who are you pointing to? Where is the ADA coordinator? What is this clown show?
Okay.
So I understand you're visually impaired.
Yeah.
Okay. What he's going to do right now is we're going to place your hands behind your back and put you in some handcuffs. Okay.
Why? So if you're threatening violence, I'll leave. You know, I just want to be clear.
Well, right now,
under threat of violence, I will leave.
Okay. Well,
right. I didn't think you were getting to the point of using violence on me, but if you're going to use violence, then I'll leave.
Okay.
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 So.
This is my boss.
Okay. Hi.
This is my boss. Where? Well, who? All these people they all said they were trained on how to direct some blind people around here and there and everywhere. They lied. This is my boss. Who? Who's the boss? Introduce yourself. Hello?
You see me?
Oh, no.
Where we're at.
Who is he? What's his name?
This is my boss.
No name.
Okay. Hi.
You see me?
Oh, no.
Where we're at.
This is my boss. And this idiot put his hand out and goes, "Can you see me?" No, that's the whole point, stupid. That's why we out here in the first place, because the man can't see y'all and he needs his assistive devices.
Well, he can't see, so he can't if you put your hand on it.
I was asking him to call the two names that he's repeatedly gave to us and have them fax that information over to the courthouse here so we could be aware of what he's trying to tell us.
Why don't y'all just ask him what the he's trying to tell y'all? You could just ask. No, y'all said, I understand you're visually impaired. I'm gonna put you in handcuffs.
Yeah.
From the American Disability Association.
Right. So no. You have two.
The American Disability Association is what this idiot just said.
Two people on staff at the county courthouse. One is Miss Dixon and one is Tiffany. I gave him to Geldner. He's got the names. Or Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah. That they are the Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator for the courthouse. So if there's a discrepancy at security, that's why I asked for the ADA coordinator, and nobody knew what I was talking about. So then I found on my phone, I had to dig it up and provide those names so that they would try to get a hold of them and help clarify what's going on. I'm trying to get into the clerk's office to do records requests. I use recording device.
All right, so I just Googled Guilford County ADA compliance. There's the email address. Stephanie Wallace is the one at Greensboro. So Stephanie M. Wallace is who they're supposed to be asking to come down and settle this right now. But instead, people with guns and bulletproof vests are trying to handcuff someone with no warning. The other one is named Patricia M. Dixon. My God. She has been a trial court coordinator since January 1996 until today. She has worked there for 27 years, so she's just in the club with them. Let's look up Patricia Dixon. We'll wait till I find all y'all property records, everything y'all have ever done, divorce records, custody records, DUIs. I'm coming. Patricia M. Dixon.
This is for note taking. I have bad memory. I can't see to take physical notes, and I use my phone for navigation.
Okay.
So
here's where we're at.
Yeah.
And you're recording now, right?
Yes. Well, I hope so. I don't know. I can't see to tell if I am. I hope I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
this one might be live to the internet. I hope.
All right. So you won't be permitted to bring your equipment into the building. As a reasonable accommodation for you. I'm sorry?
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah.
As a reasonable accommodation for you, if you want to have, you can secure your equipment, and we can have someone guide you to where you want to go.
Not gonna cut it. Not gonna cut it. You can't just decide what is a reasonable accommodation. That's what the ADA coordinator is supposed to be for. There are guidelines. There are thresholds and there are rules. You can't just say and decide on a reasonable accommodation. It is a fact-based situation. It's a very case-specific circumstance what a reasonable accommodation even is. You do not get to say someone will guide you if we lock it up, because the man just told him he needs it for other things than just guidance, memory, note-taking, all of that.
Okay, what about taking notes?
Thank you. There it is.
You can write handwritten notes as
He can't write the hand. That's the whole point, you stupid.
you want. That's not
No,
a problem.
I don't have a way of.
Bring the equipment
I don't have a way of taking handwritten notes and even reading my own handwritten notes. So that doesn't help me.
You can have somebody to do that if you want.
Okay, the 80.
We'll guide you down. What I'm saying, sir, I think I'm pretty much done. But what I'm saying is you will not be allowed to bring your equipment in.
Okay.
You're nowhere near done, mother. You are nowhere near done. You're going to be done, though.
Into the courthouse.
All right.
As a reasonable accommodation, we can...
They think just because they say something is a reasonable accommodation, all of a sudden it is.
after you secure your devices that are not allowed in the courthouse, you can go ahead downstairs.
We got to go protest.
We'll accompany you down.
That's okay. What's your name, sir?
Jeff Fowler.
Jeff.
Let me look this guy up. Jeff Fowler. You know what's real interesting? The very next month after this, February 5th, 2020, an article came out. February 5th, 2020, article by the Rhino Times, RHINO, talking about County Security Director Jeff Fowler hangs up his gun. There's a picture of him walking over there, shaking somebody's hand, and he loves sticking that hand out. Guilford County doesn't look anywhere near old enough to retire, but that's exactly what he's doing. Well, he will hang up his gun. I wonder if he wasn't forced to retire because of how he handled this. He's 65. He looks young. He said he's ready to end his time with the county. He's getting older. I just feel like this timing is suspicious. Before coming to work, he served 20 years with the Air Force, and this is how he's treating veterans? Oh my God. He's got 45 years of government service. Now they're seeking applications. So who took over? County Security Director Amanda Vutsinas named Security Director for Guilford County. This was just November last year. Oh my God. Guilford County is home to over 500,000 people in North Carolina. Well, maybe some of them will want to protest these people with us. Let's see, 11, 22. You got to save everything because these little local newspapers especially will be changing stuff. They will delete stuff and you will be gaslit by the internet thinking, wait, I could have sworn I saw that in the thing. Amanda Vutsinas. I never saw a name like that. Vutsinas. She has been in security for 16 years. Well, I might call her after I get a little more up to speed on here and see how she thinks that this should have been handled. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to just see. See how she thinks maybe it should be handled. Well, what I can say is this man right here, he's retired.
And you're with...
Fowler's retired. He retired literally the next month. He was gone.
With who?
I'm the director of security for the county.
Director of security. Okay.
Right.
So what I think it was this gentleman on my left, what I told him, because he said the same thing, is that one, that's not a reasonable accommodation because I can't access those notes.
Okay, but I won't go
and
into
two,
that
it's,
with you, okay?
But it's the only...
Where is the ADA coordinator? Not that I actually think she would be any use. I think she would be useless. But where is she? They were supposed to pull her up.
I'm not an attorney.
Right.
I've been
That's why you have a
advised-
coordinator. So they can help this. You guys don't get to set the precedent for what is a reasonable accommodation. Mm-hmm. You understand that? That's how the law would work. So you guys don't get to set that. You can offer something and we can communicate. And I say, well, that actually doesn't work for me. That isn't reasonable and it doesn't accommodate me. Right?
Yeah.
And I've communicated that. So
now, just to be clear, it also doesn't work that way where it's like whatever the person with a disability wants and says is necessarily going to happen. And that's not even what the law requires. That's why the law says reasonable accommodation. And it's supposed to be discussed in good faith with people who actually are familiar with accommodations and how they're supposed to work. A lot of times, especially with learning disabilities, because that's what I have familiarity with, it has to be a doctor or a certified medical professional who says these are the types of accommodations this specific patient needs. It's not like, oh, anyone with insert learning disability or insert neurological condition they'll all benefit the same way. No, the whole point is each individual person needs their own accommodation and it has to be reasonable. It doesn't have to be whatever they demand. But in this case, the accommodation that's being offered and being touted as a reasonable accommodation isn't going to cut it. It's not reasonable. It isn't reasonable to say, okay, well, you need your assistive devices for 5 functions. We're going to help you with 1 or 2 functions and too bad, so sad on the rest. That's not reasonable under the ADA.
You're failing to actually provide me with a reasonable accommodation. I have my own reasonable accommodation here, right? I can take notes with.
I just can't help but wonder if his retirement 1 month later had anything to do with this incident.
What I have here, right? And you guys are denying me service because of my assistive devices.
That is correct. And
Okay.
To reiterate,
That is correct. That is a federal lawsuit.
you cannot bring the equipment into the building.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
There were ADA violations at the county DSS
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Now we're going somewhere else. We're going to the DSS office.
Set the rules here, and they can do that. So you
If they, okay, I hear you. If they posted a sign that said no black people, would that be enforceable?
no.
Okay, so for them to say you don't have the First Amendment right of freedom of the press and the ADA doesn't apply, that's equally not enforceable, right?
No, that's enforceable because that's their rule. They're charged with property.
Yeah.
If they don't,
This makes me enraged.
they should ask for the
They're trying to tell me to leave
All my equanimity is about to fly out the window. I'm telling y'all that right now.
because of the recording device, and that's not a reason for trespass.
So they said that also that if you wanted to talk to the VA,
Yeah.
if you're using it for a disability purpose,
Yeah.
okay, then the lobby or whatever, wherever the VA office is, once you get to that location, then using the equipment to assist your disability, that's fine. That's
Oh, breaking news. This just in. Disabled people can turn our disabilities off until we get to the appropriate office, and then all of a sudden it's going to turn back on. Breaking news. Didn't know if y'all knew that. That was sarcasm, by the way. It's so infuriating. It's the ones who are supposed to know. It's law schools who don't know. It's police who don't know. It's security at the courthouse who don't know. It's so infuriating. And then on top of all of that, these people have guns. They tried to handcuff him for asking for a disability coordinator.
they don't have no problem with that.
Okay.
They don't have no problem with that. We have a problem with you disableds in our building, and we don't want you here. So if you could just teleport yourself disability free to the VA office, and then after that, turn your disability back on, they don't care. They'll deal with you over there. They don't care over there what you do. But as far as in our DSS office, you're not allowed to have your disability devices, and you're just going to have to somehow, some way figure out how to transport yourself there disability free. The VA office, they do whatever they want over there. But us, we over here with our guns in the open air prison.
You understand that part?
One person the other day said, I wish you wouldn't mock people's accents because you make it seem like everybody from the South is stupid. Excuse me. I'm from the South. I'm a 13th generation Louisianian. Everyone in my whole family, my whole bloodline, everyone is related to me by blood is from the South. And most of them still live there. I'm not saying people from the South are dumb. I'm saying this fucking idiot is dumb.
I get that, but what I'm telling you is that according to the Americans with Disabilities Act, the federal law on this, the security guards don't get to dictate that. They don't get to determine what is reasonable and what's not reasonable accommodation.
Do you have it written down?
If you can look it up. No, I don't.
Do you have it written down? Hello? You are law enforcement. Isn't that part of your job?
Have it on paper because I don't use it. Yeah, I can get it digitally to you, but it's the Americans with Disabilities Act. It has to be a department head or an ADA coordinator, which I've been asking to talk to, and they were refusing to do that.
So they're given their jobs.
Sure, but they're told
They're giving their jobs to run experiments on people in the camp, so they're doing it.
by people that first you said right, and first you said they didn't have an ADA coordinator here, and then 20, 30 minutes later they said they did. I try to handle the lowest level. I try to make this intelligible. I try to communicate, hey, it's for effective communications, the ADA. I try to provide the law. I try to tell them that, qualified immunity is out the window when it comes to ADA. So if you guys decide to enforce this, like you're liable to a lawsuit yourselves and even criminally liable, right? So that's 42 USC 1983. There's all kinds of stuff. I don't want to do that. I want to go in, get the information I came here for, and then leave. And do it with my assistive devices. And the people that are preventing me are violating federal law. They're violating state law because if I want any records requests, they're not going to let me record that.
Who are you here specifically to see? Disability coordinator?
Whoever is I don't know the name. So it's the VA person.
Okay. Okay. All right.
On the lady here, the VA office here, that's what you did. So we're going to rescue in the building. And
I can't really hear what he's saying. Let me see.
The VA office is here to escort you in.
Okay.
We're going to rescue you in the building, and she's right in here inside the door for you.
Someone from the VA office is going to escort him into the building?
Anything else from us?
I don't need you guys. Like, they
No, we don't need anything from y'all. Get back to your donuts.
Well, do you need anything else for while we're here?
I need y'all to leave me the hell alone.
No. I mean, if you guys want to research the ADA and
Well, I'm familiar with it. I have 2 prosthetic legs. I know all
okay.
about the ADA.
All right. Yeah. Well, they're not the determiners. It has to be a department head or a coordinator, and so that's why I like.
Something about a prosthetic leg. That cop I can't really hear. The audio is a little bit distorted on this particular section.
I haven't talked to that, you know.
I know what you're talking about.
So they're trying to enforce stuff on their own.
All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Mike discovered more ADA violations.
Please, no. We're going to a 4th place.
At the county school board facility.
Checking on ADA compliance section 504. One of the things I asked the front desk upstairs, Josie, was if you guys have the poster somewhere in the building on a bulletin board that states the section 504 coordinator and the complaint process.
Okay.
And so she actually checked the 2 bulletin boards upstairs. She didn't find it. She said there was one down here, I guess off to my right. And
there's one right over there.
she was in the process of reading that to me when Wanda Edwards came out and told her to stop. Basically told me I need to leave, and then called for security to come over here to try to get me to leave. And I explained to them that this is part of an ongoing investigation in Guilford County and the compliance of the ADA in Section 504. And as a whistleblower/relator or co-relator, lying to me is the same as lying to the federal investigator. And he wanted to vet this.
So now it seems like he is kind of on a little bit of an investigation path. And not only does the ADA apply, and not only did the First Amendment always apply, what he's telling this school board person is obstructing my investigation or lying to me is the same thing as doing that to a federal investigator, because now I'm gathering evidence for federal violations in the middle of an investigation. This part isn't in the video, but what he just described and detailed was that he went to the school board in order to see if they had the ADA compliance poster posted as is necessary somewhere on a bulletin board that is easy to be seen. Where he went at first, they didn't have the poster. Then they brought him down to this bulletin board and somebody was reading it to him, the ADA poster. Then a lady named Wanda Edwards, email address edwardw2@gcsnc.com, came out, busted out in the middle of their discussion and said, stop reading the ADA poster to him. So that all transpired before we get this video footage.
Basically, you're telling me to leave, come back, make an appointment, and do an inspection later, which defeats the purpose of an inspection, right?
So I'm not making an appointment to come and inspect you. Whenever you get audited, do the auditors make an appointment? No, they show up and say, I'm here to audit your books.
If they tell the ADA coordinator...
Was it posted up there?
It was not posted up there. And the question is, she only read part of this bulletin board. I'm simply asking for somebody with...
This is crazy to me because this is 500,000 people, 500,000 people live in this county. This ain't even some teeny tiny little town. Like, this is a huge, huge population of people, and they still acting like the good old boys because no one holds them accountable. And if they do, they get arrested on sight.
Eyeballs that can read this bulletin board and verify for me whether or not it's posted or if it's not posted. And that's it. And there's another bulletin board somewhere.
I'm not sure where every bulletin board is at this location.
Yeah, she said there was 2 that we checked upstairs and they weren't there. And she said the 3rd one was down here. And Margaret checked as well. She said they have it in a policy book somewhere, but as far as she knows, it's not posted. And that's why we just wanted to verify the last bulletin board. If somebody wants to look at it real quick, and if it says section 504 coordinator and complaint process, then you guys are good.
You and I have that to do. Thank you, sir. Good day.
Hey, you too.
Okay, man. All right.
On this bulletin board.
Yeah, she said she was reading a part of it as far as like employee rights and employee rights. Like, you can't discriminate to hire employees. Right.
All on one state and federal labor law, an E-Verify poster.
Yeah.
Know your rights under the Recovery Act, employee rights, application stuff. We follow the law regarding policy, and then an OSHA form 300A.
Right.
Tax info. I don't see it on this bulletin board now.
Okay. All right. Well,
but I'm more than happy. Here's my business card.
Take it. And your name again?
Jaspers. I'm the executive director of school safety.
All right. Cool.
Mike unearthed ADA noncompliance within the county health department.
Oh, Lord, now we're going to a fifth place. The county health department. This is January 13th, 2020. So he's been going around now for a couple weeks, according to this timeline.
Alrighty.
Okay. Here's where we're at. Again, county building, can't have cell phones inside the building.
Who are you?
You can't have cell phones inside the building?
Lieutenant Bowen again.
Okay.
Just left you up there. Oh,
all right.
Public health provides confidential medical and other services, and the medical privacy interest of the customers trumps your need for your defendant.
No, it does not.
If you do have getting services offered, if you have business here, we can,
which he does have business here,
accommodate you.
Okay.
But you must turn off your video device.
If he has to turn off his video device, you are not accommodating him. Stupid ass.
How are you going to accommodate?
Thank you.
If you need to bring your cell phone to communicate or navigate, we can accommodate you with that. You just can't record while you're in here.
What about my notes? How are you going to accommodate me for my note taking?
Where you're talking with, like same as up there, I told you before, when you get back there with someone, you can record with them as long as they're fine with it.
Okay. What
As long as they're fine with it, you can use your medical device. What?
about my notes for navigating from point A to point B?
We will get you where you need to go.
Okay. I don't
trust that.
No, I don't. I don't need a wheelchair.
Okay.
A wheelchair.
And
is there an ADA coordinator here for the building?
is there an ADA coordinator?
Disability coordinator?
No.
Oh, hi.
But hi.
Cool. What's your
Hi.
name?
My name is Leslie.
Leslie. All right. And you work here? What's your position here?
I'm in Vital Records.
Vital Records. Cool. All right.
Mike even emailed the Guilford County Attorney's Office on January 15, 2020, informing them he was conducting an ADA compliance investigation. After uncovering numerous ADA violations by Guilford County, Mike and many viewers filed ADA complaints. The NCAOC, North Carolina Administrative Office of the Courts, assigned personnel as disability access coordinators. Their job is to facilitate equal access to the courts and court services to all people, regardless of disability. We had many emails and phone calls with the DACs trying to get them to facilitate equal access to the courts. When there was positive communication and indications that the facilities were taking corrective measures, Mike would revisit a facility to check on compliance.
I'm scared.
Yeah. What's your name?
Need to, you can put in initials B and J.
Hey, that's my initial.
Now serving AJ. Please proceed to window 5.
Window 5. I know where window 5 is. Window 5.
But look how helpful they are. Look how helpful they are. Just talking about go to window 5. How's supposed to get to window 5? Nobody told them where it is.
Is it to you? Over here? Is this okay? This is window 5.
Are you recording right now?
Is it BJ? This is this window 5. Or is window 5 a different one?
No, this is window 5. But can you have a seat for one moment and someone
Right
else
here?
will call you?
Oh.
No, not right here. I'll come and direct you to the seat.
Oh. I thought they just called BJ to the window 5.
Right, but it was a mistake, so that's why I'm gonna you're gonna have a seat and someone else is gonna call your name.
Oh, okay.
This don't seem incredibly accessible if you ask me. They're calling him again. 5 again. And to be honest, no wonder they don't want nobody recording. Look how they act. Imagine being held accountable for this.
I just had questions on. Got it. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Have a good day.
Great. Thanks.
You're welcome.
This ultimately led to a total of 3 visits to the Guilford County Health Department in High Point, North Carolina.
Is there an ADA coordinator here for the building?
Is there an ADA coordinator?
Disability coordinator?
No.
Oh, hi.
But, hi.
Yeah, where do I go for that?
You got your choice. Yep, here you go.
Right here? All right. So I go out and turn left?
If you're going down the steps, yes.
Okay.
If you're going to stay on the sidewalk, you got to go to.
Oh, I can get there either way then.
Yeah,
Okay.
either way.
All right, cool. Thanks. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
The seemingly positive progress was flushed down the toilet when people violently attacked Mike on February 4th, 2020.
What are you doing? 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 Roll over now. Who are you? Roll over. Who are you? Who are you? I don't know who you are.
Stay tuned to get the details of the story in this Guilford County, North Carolina series. As of the recording of this video, Mike is still facing criminal charges that are being used to cover up for the criminal actions of the state and county employees.
Okay. This recording right now is an hour and 24 minutes long. I don't know how long it's going to end up being whenever I post it. Yeah. Just stay tuned for the second part. I'm going to put it up soon. Vaccine defamation. Love you, Mina. Okay, bye.